Hey guys, so today I'm going to be doing my July wrap-up. I had a terrible reading month in July. I read 2 books and DNF'd 2 more, and I've been in a horrendous reading slump, and I just can't seem to get out of it. So luckily next week is both a year-a-thon and a booktube-a-thon, so hopefully that gets me out of my reading slump, because I wanted to read a lot more books before I went back to school in a month. So luckily the 2 books that I did read this month I really enjoyed, and the first one was Clipped Wings by Helena Hunting. I talked about this in my book haul, but basically this is a new adult about 2 19 to 21-year-olds that meet through a tattoo studio, and our main girl wants to get a tattoo, this big tattoo that relates to her past, and I know how that sounds, but it's actually a pretty awful past. And then the guy Hayden is the tattoo artist, and they get relations and they get close, and it was just so good. Hayden is such a good book boyfriend, and I loved it. So I'm dying to read the sequel. I didn't put it on my TBR for next month because I don't want to pressure myself to read it. I'm waiting till I get out of my reading slump before I dive into it, because I don't want to be disappointed just because of the mood I'm in, if that makes sense. But 5 out of 5 stars to this, and it is on Book Outlet if you are interested, so I recommend you pick it up. So I actually DNF'd 3 books. I forgot I tried to read Ruthless by Carolyn Lee Adams. I think this is one that I got for review from Simon & Schuster, and I had to stop about 80 pages in. I just couldn't do it. I think I did a blog post about the books that I've DNF'd recently, so I will link that down below because I believe that was on it and I talked more about it, but I thought it was more of a kidnapping story, but it's more of a surviving in the wilderness story, and I didn't like the writing style. I didn't like this girl's personality at all, so I only got a third or so of the way in before I had to give it up. And then I finished The Enchantress Returns by Chris Colfer. This is the second book in the Land of Stories saga, I believe. I think there's only 4 books, but there might be 5. And I loved this. It was a little slow in the beginning for me, but it totally picked up about halfway through, and right to the end I could not put it down. And it was... It's hard to explain if you haven't read the first book, but it was just good. I didn't think I would enjoy it as much as I did because I was afraid it would become a little bit overdone and just too much of a good thing, if you know what I mean. But it was very different. It had a very different vibe to it, and I really enjoyed it. So I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. And then I tried to read Horror Store by Grady Hendrix. This is one I was very excited to read. It was on my dying to read shelf on Goodreads, and this is another one I was sent to review from work forever ago. But I really wanted to read it, and I was really enjoying it until maybe 100 pages in. Yeah, I got about 180 pages, so I had this much left, and I'd read this much, and I gave it up. I should finish it because I was so close. Maybe I'll pick it back up and try again, but I was really enjoying it. It probably would have been a 4 out of 5 stars, and then something happened. So basically this is like a haunted IKEA, but it's a knockoff of IKEA. And there's maybe 6 people in this store, and our main character did something so stupid that I don't want to spoil it, but it was just, imagine every horror movie ever and imagine the stupidest thing they could do. She did it. So I was so close that maybe I'll just pick it up and read it again, because I only had like 40 or 50 pages left, but it was just so stupid. And I felt like the author just did that to prolong the story instead of doing a realistic ending that would have happened, because I don't know anybody in my life that if we were in that situation together, they would have done that. Best friends or not, co-workers or not, wouldn't have done it. And then the last book that I DNF'd this month was Dorothy Must Die by Danielle Page. I gave this one up about 130 pages in, so about this far, and I've read that much. And I didn't like the writing style, I didn't like the world, I didn't like the main character, I didn't like Dorothy. I don't know what happened to Dorothy, and I know that's the point of the story, but couldn't do it. Because after reading The Enchantress Returns, I was really interested in reading something about Oz, because Dorothy makes a little cameo in that, and I just wanted to read something about Dorothy, and I was like, oh, I have this on my shelf. I went on Goodreads and I was reading people's reviews, and apparently this from the back doesn't come into play until the second book, and then this is kind of her being with Dorothy, I guess, and joining the Wicked something, and so it was very misleading to me. I picked this book up because of the synopsis on the back, and I thought it'd be more action and stuff, but it wasn't. So I was very disappointed in this. That was my terrible wrap-up for the month of July. I really hope August is better, or I'm just going to start watching Netflix and Friends and not reading, because I don't know if it's me or the books, but if you guys have any recommendations of books that I should read to get out of my reading slump, let me know. I can't decide if I'm going to reread a book or not because of the mood I'm in. I'm afraid I'm not going to enjoy anything. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you read down below, and hopefully you had a better month than I did. But yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow for my TBR. Bye.